We're making no apologies. That's it, umhlaba mawuhlulwe so that our people can have access to the land.
Life is difficult, but you must soldier on. Don't give up. If you are a coward, you don't belong here.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Sumo Politics, guys. So today I want us to talk about Starlink, because it seems like Elon Musk and Rupert have won the visit to the White House. It seems like this is the real reason why they dragged Ramaphosa to that White House. They wanted to maybe corner him. This clearly was already a done deal, and so they made it seem like you've got no way out, you know, and maybe there was a soft launch for us South Africans in that Oval Office. It was a soft launch for us, so that when breaking news come, we are not shocked, or we feel like, well, they were left with no choice kind of vibe.
First breaking news this hour here on ENCA. Communications and Digital Technologies Minister Solly Malatsi has gazetted a proposal to ease up on the triple BEE licensing requirements for communications licensing applicants. Now, this could pave the way, it might pave the way for Elon Musk's Starlink to operate here in South Africa. That's been a bit of a backwards and forwards, hasn't it? The legislation was one of the major barriers to Musk operating in the country, as it didn't comply with the triple BEE regulations.
So I want us to get right into it, because I don't want this to be a long video. Solly Malatsi, who is the member of the DA, Minister of the DA, has gazetted or tried to, it's almost like they are trying to renegotiate the BEE the BEE policies to accommodate Starlink ka Elon Musk. As you heard, there was a video that I played for you guys where he says he's not allowed to get a license in South Africa because he's not black. But there are laws. There's actually a clip for Utsiti that I want to play. She was in an interview. There are laws in South Africa. There are laws. So now these laws must apply to everybody else, but they must not apply to Elon Musk. That's crazy to me. But let's read this article so that we can actually get an understanding of what's happening. South Africa Communications and Digital Technologies Minister Solly Malatsi has gazetted a draft policy directive to relax broad-based black economic empowerment licensing requirements for satellite service providers, potentially paving the way for Elon Musk's Starlink to enter the local market. The proposed amendment for Electronic Communications Act aligns regulations with the amendment BBBEE ICT Sector Code, allowing equity equivalent investment programs EEIPs as an alternative to mandatory 30% ownership by historic disadvantaged groups. This change aims to boost investment, enhance competition, and expand the broadband access while upholding transformation goals through the development and economic inclusion initiatives. Starlink, which has incorporated a local entity but not yet applied for a license, has been hesitant to comply with South Africa's ownership rules due to its global policy against local shareholding. Also, Elon Musk has been throwing all these tantrums. He did not apply for a licensing, Elon Musk. What he did, he wanted to make a lot of noise. He wanted to, so that, you see now, he made a lot of noise. The communications or Solly Malatsi, they are trying to ease up the policies of BE so that they can accommodate him. He has not even applied. He did not apply and he was rejected. He actually did not even apply. He just wanted to throw tantrums, make noise, so that by the time he applies, things are already in place for him, which is so not fair. The policy shift follows diplomatic engagement between President Cyril Ramaphosa and US President Donald Trump to strengthen South Africa ties and address Musk's concern about BEE compliance. Also, when South Africa president goes to speak to Donald Trump, it has nothing to do with Elon Musk. I don't know why Elon Musk was sort of a deal between them. Because also before the meeting, it was said that if President Ramaphosa does not reach a deal with Elon Musk, then their meeting with Donald Trump is not going to work out. So this had nothing to do with the interest of South Africa. Even Johan Rupert Ben, they were not there for the interest of South Africa. They were pushing their own agenda. And I want to insert the clip here of Landuzo Rupert where he says, Starlink must be in every police station. They were not there for us. Yeah, the only thing that they wanted is this deal. And right now, they are getting it. And that is like literally so sad. It's really sad. The Independent Communications Authority of South Africa has been directed to update regulations to support new entrants. Public comments on the draft are open until June 2025. If implemented, this could make a significant step to bringing South Africa's digital divide. The EFF has said, actually, I see they just posted something right now and said, did you know that the Electronic Communications Act exists to protect South Africa's sovereignty, to ensure safe regulations of our digital space, and guard against national security threats through control of all information and telecommunication. What Malatsi wants to do, Minister Solly Malatsi wants to open the cyberspace and networks to Starlink, a foreign satellite company controlled by Elon Musk, who has a history of manipulating foreign policy and using Starlink to threaten our nation. This poses a major risk to South Africa's national security. So, Elon Musk now wants the Solly Malatsi and the DA and all of them that have agreed to this, they want Elon Musk to have control of everything that's happening in this country. And Elon Musk is the same person who created Grok. Grok is this AL that we were talking to on Twitter, and wanted to manipulate Grok because Grok now was no longer saying what Musk wanted, was saying everything based on facts. And Grok was saying there's no genocide in South Africa. They tried to manipulate Grok. So, I don't know. I genuinely don't know how South Africans think. I don't know how. Maybe the president has got no way out. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they can't say no to these people. I genuinely don't know.
We have too many deaths, but it's across the board. It's not only white farmers. It's across the board. And we need technological help. We need Starlink at every little police station. We need drones. I actually got drones donated for the peace parks to stop.
So while we were still looking at that, Gayton McKenzie came into the mix and said, your ideology is more important than the very people you claim to serve. Starlink will give greater and cheaper access in a country with the most expensive data prices. I'm glad that Starlink is coming. We should make it happen faster. I support it wholeheartedly. That is Gayton McKenzie. Gayton McKenzie goes with the wind. There's absolutely nothing you can do. And then Osnawa says to him, Minister, you say that the internet access will be cheaper with Starlink. Please show us how and comparative to what. And Gayton McKenzie now is trying to buy you, Uguti, it's going to be cheaper. So just now show us how is it going to be cheaper? And how are you comparing to what? Yo. And just to read the comments under that now question, someone says, suddenly he's a tech bro. Listen, chief, you couldn't even reduce your prison sentence, but now you want to reduce data prices. Have several seats. Starlink will be cheaper. Cheaper for who? The signal will get here before your policies ever make sense. You guys let me know what you think. And I do want to play this clip of what Tsidi. Tsidi had another interview in the US, and this journalist tried to push and manipulate her and like overspeak her, and Tsidi stood her ground. I was actually so proud of her in this interview, and I'm gonna play for you guys. Yeah, I don't know between an Indwesukuyo. I just don't know. It seems like the visit in the USA was a success for Rupert and Elon Musk, and it was only a failure for us, or we were just blinded. Let's play this clip for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
No, not necessarily. I was amused by the latest gimmick, for sure, but surprised not so much. I think the South African delegation, South African journalists have been talking about it. We knew the president would walk into some sort of trap. It's not surprising. The invite was there. The desire for the conversation to open up the channels between the USA and South Africa are there. South Africa's been trying, by all means, to try and open up the doors again. And so, no one was surprised.
Okay.
Did we expect the lights to be turned off and a visual illustration? No, not that far.
That is the new the new reality with Donald Trump. The issue here, I think, is an important one about what is actually happening in South Africa. Is it true that white farmers are being killed in South Africa?
It's an interesting way that you've asked that question. I don't think the issue is what's happening in South Africa. I think the issue is what's being peddled about what's happening in South Africa. If you watch today's engagement, let me get to the point first. If you watch that entire engagement, the recognition, the painful recognition, the startling truth of crime in South Africa, violent crime, was actually uttered by everybody there from South Africa. Is it targeted towards a specific group? Is it an ethnic cleansing? That's the question, right? Based on what's been said about South Africa the world over, at least people are aligned to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. That's not a fact.
Okay, so we don't deny that there's a lot of violent crime in South Africa, right?
Across
Seven times the murder rate.
Across the board.
Okay, so the issue is whether or not, I guess, whites are being targeted disproportionately. Is that what you're taking issue with?
No, that would be the claim. The issue is that the claim is falsehood. White people are not being targeted, Leland. Nobody.
So when
crime is experienced by everybody, not just white people.
Was chanting, kill, kill, you have to kill to be part of a revolution, on and on. He was talking about killing blacks or killing whites?
Do you need the context of what that song is? Because you can't take out the context of what that is. That is actually important. It cannot be that he's giving an instruction when that's not the fact. I think we do need to take into consideration the context. What he's chanting is an anti-apartheid song that was sang by leaders in the lead up to apartheid. The back and forth today about that song is whether or not it's relevant in modern day South Africa. Should we still be singing that song? If there's a grouping in the country that feels otherwise.
How can somebody be defending singing a song that's talking about killing other people?
I'm not defending singing the song. I'm saying to you that's the conversation that's
So don't you think white farmers would be scared when they heard that song?
And that's the question that's being put to Julius Malema. I said to you that conversation is happening. It's put to Julius Malema that when you do this, this is what we worry about. But when you look at how long he's been singing the song and whether it correlates with the numbers of farmers under attack, particularly white people, it's not there. People who are being attacked on the farms are farm dwellers and farm workers. That's also a reality that's got to be.
White farmers are not being targeted, or white farmers are not being killed, why are so many who have big land holdings willing to give up their entire lives to come to America?
Where are they? Show them to me.
We had them land
Those 49 people are not farmers. There are plenty of reports from South Africa that many of those are not farmers. Those are chances. Please, again, show me the evidence. Those are people taking an opportunity. America's given them an opportunity.
You're saying
they're not farmers.
I'm just trying to figure this out. You're saying that your president has not in any way targeted whites, even though Elon Musk, who was there, can't get a license for his business.
He was where?
In the Oval Office.
He was in the Oval Office. He's never been to South Africa. When was the last time Elon Musk was in South Africa?
But he can't get.
When was the last time he was in South Africa? His father, Elon Musk's father.
I'm not talking about when he was there.
No, hold on. I want to also make you understand one thing.
The accusation is that many whites cannot get licenses to do business, among them Elon Musk. That's not
so
true
we've been
either?
forced to undermine our transformative laws. We must be okay with a South Africa with the majority that is denied of their own land, with the majority is deprived of access to economic transformations and means of production. We must be okay and not move the needle in any way to try and fix that.
If we zoom
We must be okay with South Africa being labeled the most unequal country in the world and not try and do anything to rectify that. Because that's what that argument says.
No, but the fact of the
There are laws.
The fact of the matter is
they must be bent for an individual.
No, they must.
That is what the question is.
But if you make laws that target a certain race, don't.
But there are none of those.
Racist.
Where are those, Leland? You're calling me as a journalist from South Africa, and you're putting those to me. I'm asking you for the proof. Donald Trump today, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to lecture a little bit. Donald Trump today called us in there, saying he's got proof of a genocide. South Africa's gone to the ICJ saying that they believe
Israel
is committing a
genocide is a whole other thing. They're the same ones who support Hamas.
But they put evidence on the table. They put evidence on the table.
South Africa supports
a
Hamas,
chant is not proof of genocide.
Yes, it is.
A private monument with fake crosses and not actual grave sites is not proof of a genocide. I don't believe that I'm being called in here to defend the indefensible. Those things aren't facts.
Okay.
Donald Trump did not put facts on the table.
You say that?
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. If you don't know who I am, my name is Zizipolo Pelwana, and this is Simple Politics. So yeah, let me know what you think, Bejunana. Let me know what you think, because it seems like we are in trouble. We have no control of what's happening. Decisions are made. And my question was, then why do we vote? Or, fine, maybe it's because we are not voting right. Because I was going to say, why do we vote if we can't, our voices are heard? And then I remember, actually, the EFF does do what they're supposed to do. My vote works. But it's just that not all of us vote right. And if we had given much strength and power to the EFF, at least we would have someone fighting for us right now. But we don't vote right, and that's just sad. That's just really sad for us. So let me know what you think, guys. Let's meet in the comment section. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Aluta continua until the next one.